Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome back to another video, and you guys are watching part 4 of a series of the verbal section of completing the analogous pairs. So let's get right into the video and let's start. So the question says complete the analogous pairs. Let's move on to number 1. This video consists of 5 questions. So it says car and garage, airplane, question mark. So what is the relationship between a car and a garage? So a car goes inside a garage. That's where it stays. That's the shelter of it. Where does an airplane go? Does an airplane go in a port? No. Why? Because a port is a place for docking, traffic, and storage boats. It's for what? It's for boats. And we're looking for an airplane. So, no. Does the airplane sit in a depot? No. Why? Because a depot is a place for the storage of large amount of quantities. It's for equipment and stuff like that. So no. Why? Because it's for equipment. It's not necessarily set up for an airplane. First, let's look. What is a hangar? A hangar is a large building with an extensive floor area. It is mostly used for housing aircraft. So what is this categorized? An airplane is categorized as aircraft, meaning, yes, it is housed in a hangar. Let's look at our last choice. Our last choice says harbor. And what is a harbor? A harbor is a place for storing boats. It's another place for storing boats. So we can infer that C is our correct answer. Now let's move on to question number 2. Question number 2 says race, fatigue, fasting or fast, question mark. So when we race, so when we run, we usually get fatigue. And what is fatigue? The feeling of fatigue is being tired and weak and like physically or even mentally. And usually when you race, you feel weak, you feel tired, and all of these side effects. So when you're fasting, what do you feel? When you fast, what do you feel? So when you're fasting, do you feel food? No. Why? Because food is not a feeling. Do you feel appetite? No, because it's not a feeling. Once again, do you feel hunger? Yes. Do you feel weakness? Yes, potentially, but not always. So in this case, what do? In this case, we look at our 2 choices and look at the one that fits the most. So when we're fasting, do we feel weak? Yes, but not all the time, not necessarily. But when we're fasting, do we feel hungry? Yes, most of the time, all of the time, meaning that hunger is the more fit choice. Now let's move on to question number 2. Question number 2 says candle, wax, paper, question mark. So we know that a candle is made out of wax. So we know that the relationship is made out of. So we have to ask ourselves now, what is a paper made out of? Let's look at the choices. Is paper made out of wood? Yes. Is paper made out of a tree? Potentially, but it's not the better choice. Is paper made out of bamboo? No. Is paper made out of pulp? Yes. In this case, we look at our 2 options and again identify the best option. So what is paper made out of? Paper is made out of pulp, and it's prepared chemically or mechanically, which separates wood, fiber crops, waste paper, meaning that paper can be made out of wood, but not potentially. It can be made out of wood, fiber crops, waste paper, rags, and etc., meaning that D is the correct answer. It's the most fitted choice. Why? Because basically we can think of it as pulp is the bigger picture. It's how paper is made, and then inside you have You could have wood, or you could have fiber, or you could have crops, and wood is just one of them. And if you don't have it, you have other substitutes such as fiber, crops, rags, and etc. Meaning that paper is always made out of pulp, but not always made out of wood. So now let's move on to question number 4. Question number 4 says acting, theater, gambling, question mark. So we know that actors always act in a theater. So acting always takes place in a theater. So this is the place. So we're supposed to find a place. A place. What we can automatically cancel out D. Why? Because D is not a place. D is just like a word mostly used in like science. It's used to define the word exposed, but it's mostly just used in scientific terms, so science. And it's not a place, so we can automatically cross that out. Does gambling take place in a club, a bar, or a casino? The best fitted answer is casino, because we know gambling takes place in a casino. Now let's move on to our 5th and final question. So it says venerate, worship, extol, question mark. So first of all, what does venerate mean? Venerate means deep respect. It means what? Deep respect. And what does worship mean? Worship means deep respect paid to God or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in this matter, we look at our choices, and our choices say glorify, homage, compliment, and recommend. We're supposed to look for one that has the best fitted choice for extol. And what does extol mean? So extol means to praise something or someone enthusiastically. It means to praise what? Enthusiastically. And let me give you an example. So extol is like you think and you talk of something or someone highly. So we're supposed to look for one that has a relationship with extol. And what is the relationship? Have we identified the relationship here? No. The relationship is it goes from a broad definition to a little niche definition, a little niche one. So it goes kind of like this. You know, like when you have a definition and then you go like you explain it into detail, or you have like a specific example. So this is kind of how it works. So this is worship here, and this is venerate here. It kind of goes from a wide to a niche definition. Now that we identified the relationship, we can look and identify that this is the broad definition, and then we're supposed to look for the niche one. Okay, let's look at our choices. Our choices say glorify, homage, compliment, and recommend. So first we have to cross out recommend, because we know recommend kind of does not really praise something enthusiastically, nor does it come in any close relation. So we can automatically cross that out. What does compliment mean? Compliment means to give someone like a good word, and that you can think of it like this, but it doesn't like closely relate to it, so we can automatically cancel it out. We only have glorify and homage left. What does homage mean? Homage means a special honor or respect shown publicly. It means to show respect publicly. And this does seem like a good definition, doesn't it? Because you are showing formal public acknowledgement. And we have glorify left. What does glorify mean? Glorify means to praise or to worship. Praise or to worship. So, as we identified here, this is the more niche topic. Homage is kind of like a synonym to extol, so we can identify that A is the answer. Why is A the answer? A is the answer because it goes from a wide, a broad, to a niche. So extol, let's change the color and let me try to explain it into more detail. So we said that extol and glorify is the answer. I don't know why I wrote F. Glorify is the answer. Why is this the answer? Because, as we said, extol means to praise enthusiastically, and glorify means to praise or to worship, worship God or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so we know that going from praying enthusiastically to praying to praying to a certain worship or hada, we know that it goes into a niche topic. So we can automatically identify that A is the answer. So a certain website defined the relationship as synonym pairs. So they defined this and this as synonym pairs. But I disagree, and I identify the relationship as broad or niche, as I introduced to you guys, meaning it starts at a more general sense, venerate, and then it goes a little more specific, worship. And that is why I chose glorify. Although the website defined it as synonym pairs, it still did choose A as the answer. I think it had the right idea, but it classified it as the wrong pair, because they're not really synonyms. You can think of it as synonyms, but a niche version of it, meaning it is a broad and niche relationship. We are done with the video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And I want to tell you guys something. So if you have a specific question, please do not hesitate. Email me the question if you need to attach screenshots and whatnot, or you can comment down the question below. Whatever suits you better, I am available. I am a resource. I'm here to help. This is WizWorks, and see you in the next video.